Hi everyone, it's me, Betty B.
And I'm Swung, and we're back with another installment of everyone's favorite show, the monthly Precap Show. Now, before we begin, we want to give a shout out and acknowledge our friends over at the CTWC for putting on a truly epic competition this past weekend and having everyone at the edge of their seats with a Final for the Ages. It came down to the wire, but in the end, Fractal edged out Sidnev with a 3-2 victory. GG's to all the players that competed, and congrats to both Fractal and Sidnev.
And speaking of world championships, here at the DrMC, our Versus World Championship is right around the corner on November 11th and 12th at the Tour Gaming Expo in Columbus, Ohio. I'll be there, Swang will be there, and a bunch of other familiar faces will be happy to meet and compete with you. I'm so excited to participate in all of the action. Can't make it to Torg? Well, we are kicking off our 2024 season with the Kansas City Retro happening the week of December 1st through the 3rd.
There's tons of talent, tons of events, and a monthly checkup is another avenue to get your Versus fix. Big thanks to Leviticus for running the monthly checkup. Be sure to check out the details on our Discord. And last but not least, let's talk about the Virus Buster League. Playoffs for the Virus Buster League will take place in November, with Ibar and Doc leading the season with 44 and 41 wins respectively. Shout out to Doc for organizing the Virus Buster League and keeping it going for over 9 seasons. But that about wraps up Versus news. It's time to move on to Speed Run Stats.
Our annual end of year speedrunning championship top 16 has been decided. Adelita, with an astounding 187 points, has clinched that number 1 seed, as we reported last month. Frank had an opportunity to shake things up with a chase for the possible top 4 position, but since he isn't playing this month, it guarantees Packy, Savage, and Watchma will be seeded number 2 through 4. This just in, though, we learned that Watchma had dropped this weekend, which secures his position as the 4th seed for the year-end tournament. Now, all eyes to Savage and Packy, as these players are racing for either the 2nd or 3rd seed, depending on their performance this weekend. To round out the top 16, all are guaranteed a spot in the Gold Championship with their 3 tournament minimum.
We turn our attention to the silver bracket now, where if Kyle Berry and Crunchy C compete during this month's silver weekend, both players will have the 3 tournament minimum events needed to qualify for the end of year tournaments, meaning that we will have a potentially near full house of 15 competitors at the end of the year's silver championship. And that's so exciting. And honestly, with the level of talent that we're seeing, all these players have that champion level caliber, so it could be anyone's game for the end of the year.
And finally, regarding this month's bracket, with Frank, Dawn, and Watchma from our top 16 out this month, we see Sarah Sparkle and an appearance of MrOctagon and Arco. We're going to check with Savage to confirm MrOctagon's attendance. And yes, Savage has confirmed that. She mentioned and quoted, "He just looked at me with all cold-blooded and whatnot and said, he's playing. Packy, you better watch out." And that about does it for our monthly pre-cap show. I want to thank my host, Swang, and Ook the Librarian, and our restreamer, The Dave. Good luck to all our competitors, and let's send it back to the booth.
And welcome in, everybody. Thanks to Swang and Betty for that pre-cap. And we are here for the October Speed Bracket. This is day 1. You are looking at your gold bracket tournament. We have got 5 wonderful matches for you today. I am Ook the Librarian. Joining me in this for these first couple of matches is going to be Larva 12. Larva, we have got some great stuff. And this first match of Flindo versus Betty, actually, it's Betty versus Flindo because she qualified higher than him this time. This is going to be a good match.
Yes, it is. I believe we've seen this once before with Flindo taking the win. but both Betty and Flindo are very well known in our community, very well loved in our community, are always practicing and always trying to be better. So I do think that this could go either way.
Yes, indeed. And the last time these two met, it was a 6-11 match back in June. But they are facing each other as the 8-9 seeds this time. Betty got herself a PB, making a deep run into 17 this month, into 17-16. And Flindo also making a deep run, but just not quite as high as Betty did. So we're going to get started here on this first level block. It's going to be levels 6 through 9. We're going to be doing best of 3. We're going to be doing that all first round. So hope you guys are ready for a great one. So we are going to be waiting on readies from our players. And once we have got that, we are going to be good to go. Of course, no stranger to each other. They, like many in our community, like to hang out together. And Flindo is the father of the Ban Betty campaign for reasons that I'm still not 100% sure about. All right, we've got readies from both players, and let's get this party started. And it's 3, 2, 1, Hills! Flindo's the first one out, and a huge gap on his column 4, and also very limited blue access. I gotta say, Betty's board is looking a lot better right now than Flindo's, just from the initial board. But you never know what's going to pop up with this, as Betty makes a nice combo to get started and takes the early lead at 21-24.
Yes, very nice cross clear there from Flindo. He does like to search out a lot of those combos. He is playing on medium speed while Betty plays on high speed. I did also notice that while Betty loves the fever music, she is playing with music off. I
Yeah, Betty
believe she's trying to do the new strat.
Yeah, Betty confirmed to me earlier, I believe it was this week, that she is hardcore team off now, has decided to forego her love of fever and bring herself to the off camp. That has been something we've seen from some of our players, and I would expect to see a little more of, since we've got an idea that it might be slightly better for the game. And at this level, you'll take any benefit you can get. But it is going to be both players out around the same time on our screen, but Betty with a slight advantage, about 4 seconds. And honestly, with the board that Flindo got, I'm not terribly surprised.
Yeah, it is nice, even with the time discrepancy, it is very nice to see both of our players out at the same time. It really does confirm what we were saying earlier, that they are very evenly matched. And this is a game to watch closely and not take anything for granted on either side.
Yes, indeed. Betty, no stranger to punching above what her ranking in a tournament. Flindo, the same. Betty, of course, our silver champion from last year, coming in at the 2 seed and taking the win there. Flindo, probably his signature win is going to be that great one he got against Frank. Was it last year?
I
And
believe it was
yeah,
finals last year, yes.
yeah, that is. Yeah, that's something he will be carrying with him to his grave, I'm pretty sure. It's just a high point in his Dr. Mario career. And rightfully so. Frank is a juggernaut of this community, and anybody who can take him in a game, that's incredible, incredible work. So Betty got a little bit of struggle here. She is trying to not lose that blue pill half. And is going to get it timed just perfectly, but it's going to be Flindo out at a 302, Betty out at a 259. Oh, I missed Flindo having one. So Betty out at a 259, Flindo out at a 305. He's got a triple to start, though, and that's always a great way to start a board.
Exactly. That's and that is the way that Flindo likes to play. He will if he sees a pretty good Easy clear, he'll take it. He is setting up for this T right there. Bam, bam, bam. It all falls down.
Gotta wonder if that was worth all the little bit of extra time he put into it, but so far it has proven to be.
Um, he may decide potentially that because he's playing Betty and they both know each other's playstyles very well, that he wanted to try to do some more what I would call like Betty or DaveSmithSays setups with that. But to really know, we would have to ask Flindo.
Yeah, in the end though, I mean, this is always you come down to playing yourself. And I think he was he knew that that L clear is going to be a more efficient clear and decided it was worth going for. And so far it has worked out for him as he's got a small lead. His board health looks a lot better, but Betty is working her way down. She's just got a little bit of garbage to take care of. Um, she would love to have gotten those blues at the bottom horizontally. Doesn't look like that's going to be the way things work out, although she is finding a way to get some of the trash out of the way. As Flindo working on his last one, he's out at a 450, so that's a really solid time. Betty passed that time already, so it is Flindo with the lead here going into level 9.
Something interesting about Flindo's board is he had in the middle of his board a staircase of double blues. He's gotten rid of 2 parts of the 3-part staircase already. But it did strike me as a little bit odd, just the way that the board was set up. But of course, that's Dr. Mario.
So Betty out at a 522. She's nodding her head. I think she's got either an eye on Flindo or an ear in the chat. But so far, wow, getting exactly the pills she wants to start this board. I got about a 20 virus differential from Flindo, though, although she does have a bit of a timer advantage having started second. So we just have to see. And also, I don't think that was the flip that Flindo wanted. He might have been looking at something I wasn't, but he's taking the garbage out, so I'm going to assume that is not the case.
I believe he wants to take that red in column 2 out horizontally. That's kind of been what I've seen him building up for. He just hasn't gotten the right pills at this time in order to do that.
Yeah, lacking the reds has slowed him down a little bit, but he finally got something to kind of pull off the combo he was hoping for. Meanwhile, Betty also looking for quite a bit of red. She could really fire something off here. Does get her double, but it is down to 2 to 5. Flindo just needs 2 more blues. Now just needs 1 more blue. He is going to be out at a 640. Betty is going to be very close to that, but she has passed that 640 mark and just a bit outside as you would hear, and is going to be out at a 650. That is still a very solid time, very close between these two. Can't wait to see what they bring us in game 2.
10 seconds in Dr. Mario is almost nothing. So, like we've been saying all game, it's very close, and we could see it in this first game. Hopefully, we'll see it in the next games. We see Flindo taking his pulse. He likes to do that. Make sure he's got his heart rate under control.
Yeah. Neither player with a heart monitor, although I think that would probably be a bad thing. Having one for either one of them. Betty definitely plays with a lot of energy, and yeah, Flindo not unknown for doing the same thing as well. Witchy Cat Pants wants some cider here in chat. I think Betty wants some cider as well. She is ready. Once we get it ready from Flindo, we will be good to go. All right. That's ready from both players. You know what that means. It's 3, 2, 1, and pills. Gotta say, watch the Tetris tournament, or at least the finals of the Tetris tournament, and it was weird hearing Tetris at the end of that, I've gotta say. I know we stole it from them, but still. But still.
That was, like we said in the pre-show, if anybody hasn't seen the Tetris, the CTWC tournament, it was this past weekend. It was great. I was there, Chris Bidwell was there, Packy was there, Sarah was there, Barrett was also there. So not only was there a lot of Tetris, we also had a lot of Dr. Mario representation.
That's always great, since Dr. Mario tournament was spawned by our sister tournament over at Tetris. Speaking of the tournament we got going on right now, we've got Betty with a little bit of a lead, but overall her board not looking the happiest. The doctor has not been the kindest to her, but that's going to help her drop off a combo. And yeah, you can see her shaking her head. She's not seeing a way forward out of this one, although the doctor, providing her with some yellow blues to kind of work her way into that. She would love to get a bridge built here. She is still sitting pretty high and mighty, though, on Flindo, coming out at a 132. That's a good time. Flindo is going to be out at a 140. Oh, 141 with that drop time. So Betty again with a slight lead coming out of level 6.
Yeah, I think I like Flindo's board a little bit better. It seems to have a little bit more access to everything, especially blues. They're a little bit buried for Betty. But we'll
She's got
see.
ideas.
Exactly. Betty's always got ideas. She's always cooking up some combos. So, if anybody can get through this, it's Betty.
Yeah, I think at this point she's just thinking high level bridge, saving it towards the end and just doing the best she can until then. Would have really loved those double blues to be taken out horizontally for. Unfortunately, not going to be the case.
Oh, but watch this. Oh, she decided to do something slightly different. Now she's going to set that off.
Yes, indeed.
So
And
now
this
she
double
has
red
that.
is.
Yeah, now she has
Oh, got the.
that chasm actually in between, really, that one red and the rest of her board that she can easily build up.
Yep. Knew that plan was coming and didn't figure Betty was going to be denying herself that option. She's not really happy with the drop time, but honestly, getting all that off the board that quickly is fine. And she's going to be out at a 310. Flindo is just missing a couple of blues. I keep missing viruses at the bottom of his board, but there's 1, there's 2, there is 3. He's out at a 324, a little bit of a pause buffer. And yeah, both players now into level 8. Betty still with a slight lead.
Yes. Oh, Flindo did not want to put that blue there. He wanted to shift it just a little bit.
Got it where got
But
that one where he wanted it though.
I like this. I like what he's setting up on in column 8.
It's that yellow blue he was holding out for. I wasn't sure he was going to. But now that's left him with a little garbage, and Betty setting up a touch of garbage herself. So these two both having to do a little digging out, but so far so good. And Betty does have that wide gap, basically 2 columns, no viruses at the moment. That this early in the board is kind of a problem, but so far she's navigating just fine. It just means a little bit of extra drop time.
Flindo is staring down a lot of yellow and red. He does not have any more blue left on his board at all.
Almost doesn't have
So,
any red. I mean, any yellow. I'm sorry. I know colors.
um, so, and longtime viewers of the channel know that we really don't like to see basically one color and oops, all red situation, because that severely limits the type and amount of pills that you can use that come up. He is setting up. He does have a T set up. There he goes. He takes that down. Betty has 3 blues left. That one in column 6 is a little bit buried, but she can easily get at it from either the top or the side. Just depends on what she wants to do with it.
You should have seen the other guy. That was actually, she put together a really nice combo to clear herself out. But again, Simon clear out on her boards. Flindo's made a little bit of a comeback. There's still the time differential, so Betty is about 3 seconds ahead here in level 9. But it is all going to come down to this one. Betty playing for her life. Flindo playing to finish this game off. Who's going to win it?
To
I don't
ban
know.
Betty from this tournament.
Oh, goodness. All right.
Not that
so
we actually
Betty
want to
with
see that, but
wow, monster combo
to
from Betty.
integrate some of what he has, some of his sayings in jest, of course.
So monster combo from Betty there to keep things close. Flindo, well, actually, no, neither player with an advantage right now. It's Flindo's got his setups. He does have the flatter board, but Betty, as you can see, has a little bit more of a chance for double options. Oh, that's actually going to be a really good D sandwich once she gets it done. She's gonna wait for it. She is gonna wait for a yellow red. Let's see if she gets it. Does get some of the other
No,
pills that she
Flindo's
needs.
getting red blitz, then he has no more reds on his board.
Oh yeah, Flindo would love to de-sandwich those blues, but he does have the option for a horizontal blue at the bottom. Betty's down to 5, Flindo's down to 4. And Flindo with a massive setup. That's going to take that one out. But now he's got blue-yellow, not what he wants to see. Betty has the opportunity. She just needs 2 more yellows. Flindo just needs 2 more blues. There's Flindo and Betty. And it's Betty with 3 seconds. She wins on the time differential. So Betty started her timer 3 seconds late. These two came out at almost exactly the same time. It is going to be Betty taking game number 2. Folks, we are going to our first decider of the night.
It's what Cat Pants wanted. It's what Betty wanted. It's what everybody in chat wanted. It's what Ook and I wanted. It's not
Free
what
Dr.
Flindo
Mario.
wanted, but it is free Dr. Mario. And this one is for all the marbles. A trip to round 2 tomorrow.
Yeah, Flindo's saying sub 6 incoming. I wasn't even looking at the times. It was a 722 and a 725. Not times that either one of these players really wants to get. I was racing against Flindo back on Monday, and yeah, he's definitely looking for sub 7s, hoping for a sub 6.5, sub 6. He's expecting to see 2 sub 6s now, and it's going to be just as close. I can't argue with that logic. All right, so let's see these two ready up because we got another game to play.
We have a ready from Flindo and a ready from Betty.
Right. Bringing it in 4, 3, 2, 1. Decider pills. All right, Betty with a little pre-pause buffer. That's a new version of the strategy. Normally you see that happening later on, and she is not liking that misdrop, and they are breeding. That's kind of what we see happen with misdrops, but Betty definitely finding some glitter out of this, and is going to be able to tuck another piece in. Decides against it. I think she's got herself a little gun shy. Is going to be able to get through with that. So Flindo also not really happy with some of the early plays that he has made, but has everything now cleared up and is working. He's on 18 pills, 18 viruses.
Yeah, Betty already has cleared out everything from the right side of her board. Oh, that was a costly misdrop at the top of her board. But again, if we know Betty, she's gonna try to combo that out. Try to get rid
She'll
of
build a
that
bridge.
blue. Try to get rid of the blue on top of the reds and drop everything else down.
Nicely done. That's a very tight bridge that she put together.
Nice.
And Flindo has his yellows set up for horizontals. Free and clear on this board. He would have loved to have gotten the blue out first. Betty had a 129. I don't know if she was surprised or what. I just glanced over. Flindo added a 127 though, so it is Flindo who is in control here. It just seems that whoever starts their timer second is the one who's taking the lead.
So then the strat would be to never start the timer.
I mean, that's a way to get something, that's for sure. All right. Think I like Flindo's board better, but oh yeah, well those double opportunities he's got. Things
And
are
being the
looking
captain
real
of the
nice.
swim team right there.
But everything is still pretty high on Flindo's board. Betty does have everything kind of flattened down. So overall, she is trying her best to maintain that flat top line that we like to see. But Flindo taking a really solid run through this board. He's got some stuff trapped in the middle there, but is not too far from working his way right on out of this board. Going to take a horizontal there on the bottom and now just needs a pile of reds. There's one, there's two, three more, and he is going to be out. And look at Betty getting this triple opportunity leading into an extra horizontal. Flindo's out at a 254. Betty going to be a bit behind, but not too much. She's going to be out at a 308. So about 14-second difference going into level 8.
Flindo's working with a lot of red on his top line. I don't really like it. I do think Betty's board is a little bit more balanced. That she can work with, every type of pill as it comes up.
Yeah, but one thing we know about the doctor, he is a lot of things balanced, not generally one of them. So we'll see if having a balanced board helps balance Betty right on out. As Flindo has worked his way down to the bottom of a board, but you see that red staircase running down his left-hand side. That is going to prevent him from doing a whole lot until he gets the right pills. In fact, gets the right ones to start it. So that's going to be helpful for him. Betty also not a lot of access to blue, so neither player looking to find blue here at the top of this board.
Yeah. Flindo has had a bit of blue recently, but he's able to use most of it to his advantage. And now both of his blues are open. They are going to be gone in just a second, and now he doesn't need any blues at all.
And Betty getting herself down to just, oh man, she's getting the red blitz exactly when she wants it. Now she wants it to end. Actually, that's going to be helpful for her as well. So that red blitz really helping Betty as Flindo's wanting a double red, but is going to have to take drop time instead. Betty out at a 444, Flindo out at a 439. So again, we've got a slight, just the timer difference for Flindo. That is the advantage that he has got. So we're going to see here in level 9 if he's going to be able to hold on to that, or if it is going to be Betty who's going to take this one. I'm on the edge of my seat for that one.
There's the L clear I was looking for. I love my L clear, T clear crosses, whatever you want to call it. I love them. So anytime I can see somebody else potentially setting that up, I immediately want them to set it off.
Look at this clear from Betty, finding ways to really utilize every pill half. She really wanted those reds horizontal, wasn't able to get there. And now Flindo's got a real high stack on the right-hand side of the board. We have seen entire matches come down to how quickly you can get one of those stacks knocked down. So we'll see if the doc gives him the pills that he needs to do that. So far, so good, but there's still a lot of Dr. Mario left to play. As Betty also trying to come up with some Betty plays and keep herself in this final game.
Yeah, she's been working a lot with her horizontals. Oh, I like
Great
this.
combo there.
I like this drop combo from Betty. Very classic Betty.
Now Flindo free and clear, and remember he does have the timer advantage, so there's 2 blues. There's the last one he's going to need. It is going to be Flindo out at a 618, and Betty not far behind out at a 631. So GG's to both of our players. It is Flindo who will be going on to face the winner of Adelito versus Arco tomorrow. GG's to both players. Betty, that was a heck of a match. And Flindo, we will see you in the next round.
And welcome back to the gold bracket of the October 2023 Speed Championships. My name is Larva12. Again, I am joined in the booth by Ook the librarian. Ook, what do you think about this match? Savage Octagon versus DaveSmithSays.
Well, I gotta say, this is one that we've only seen it one other time. Well, one other time this year. Let me double check. Yeah, no, this is the 4th time these two have faced each other.
I was gonna say my statistics say that this is their 4th meeting.
Yeah, I still had it set to just this year. So Savage Octagon working on trying to find her way up into the number 2 seed. That is where she is sitting in number 3. Could take the number 2 seed if she does significantly better than Packy in this tournament. DaveSmithSays is locked in to no worse than the 16 seed. He is playing to move up in the brackets, not have to face Adelito in the first round. Not that any present company would know what that's like, but yeah, it's going to be a good match. Savage does have the edge 3-0 in previous meetings, but they're ready. So I think we're ready. So let's get this match started.
And both of our players going with our new off strats. Dave Smith has always been an off player, but Savage testing out the new off strats.
Yeah. So yeah, Savage was just getting into our chat asking, wait, what was the thing about off? So again, we don't have any real confirmation, and apparently it's just a light thing, but you take any advantage you can get. So streamer is ready, players are ready. I feel like I'm the referee from American Gladiators. And here we go. It is gonna be 3, 2, 1. Bills. All right, DSS first one out. And a really nice double opportunity setup for him. This is a sort of board that makes Dave, so I cannot wait to see what he puts together with this.
My immediate thought was, I don't like it, but
Dave will.
Dave will like this board. This is a Dave board. He gets to do things exactly like that.
Yeah, Dave.
Flip was great. That was wonderful.
Really putting things together. We haven't seen. There's Savage going ahead and starting. I was just about to send her a message in chat. So, don't dislike the board from Savage. She would love a blue yellow right here. Decides to go ahead and bite the bullet, take care of things. And again, it's not a matter of direct time. It's just a matter of who finishes first on their own timers. So Dave Smith going to be finishing everything before Savage, and we will just have to wait and see if it is enough to take the win. Dave with a really nice setup, and now he is just 1 blue away from finishing out at this board. The doc's going to let him have a 123.
Very nice. Savage, I've seen her shake her head a couple of times. There have been some things that she doesn't like, either RNG wise or play wise. But she has brought this down. Most everything can be taken in some sort of combo or double, with the exception of maybe one or two viruses.
Interesting choice, not playing that double yellow where it would just drop right down for her. But she's going to have a completely clear board, with minor exceptions. As she finishes out this level, she's going to be out at a 130. So Dave with the slight advantage right now. Savage shaking her head, trying to get the cobwebs out. You know, she has got some crazy play waiting in the wings.
Mm-hmm. I I like what she has set up. That she's um, that she just that she just pulled the trigger on. Um, I'm sorry, Ook, my words for a second decided to
Okay.
just leave my brain.
Never happens to me. So yeah, while you're talking about that, I will say Dave Smith had a really nice combo just a second ago, dropped out some yellows, and has everything set up now, and he's gonna Dave combo this completely out. So
Oh,
two more reds and he is gonna be done. I know it doesn't look like it, but wait for it. There it
there
is,
we go.
out at a 302. So a little bit slower on this level, but Dave still appears to have the advantage. We'll see what Savage does coming out of this level 7.
I like that combo that Savage had on the bottom of her board. I was waiting and hoping that she would take that combo. She just has a couple left of basically each color.
Yeah, I was a little nervous there with all of that yellow, and she found her way through it. Makes a nice switch there so that she gets everything
Mhm.
out of the way, but she's in a virtual tie with Dave Smith. 301 coming out of this board on level 7. And honestly, I love where Dave is right now. He's got a tiny bit of garbage. He's not really sure what to do with yellow at the moment. But beyond that, everything has got some. Oh, never
Ooh.
mind. No garbage. Everything's got some really nice setups. And yeah, Dave being Dave. And okay, so this one is going to create a touch of garbage. But overall, really nice board layout for Dave. He's got one bit of garbage to worry about, and actually
Mhm.
might even find a way to surprise us out of that one as well.
I think he's gonna try to take those reds out the normal way. There he goes. And he just needs two reds, and he will be out of his level 8.
Look over what Savage is dealing with here. There's so much
Ooh.
blue, and the doctor has not given her anything,
Ooh.
and she wants to make sure that she doesn't waste any, but at the same time, it's been not the blues that she needs when she needs them. Now she's
Mhm.
got those yellows set up on top, looking for a cross clear. But at this point, I think she would take any clear.
Mhm.
And yeah,
You can tell
she's
she is
saying
unhappy.
some choice words for the
There
doctor
are
here at the
some
moment.
shucky darns over there.
Yeah, and now she can't really use these yellows. She could try to set up on top of these blues and get a quad there, decides against it. Oh, no, that's exactly what she's thinking. So the next two blues are going to go there, but they're going to trigger quite a bit of drop time. And now she's going to have to make sure she doesn't cover over everything on the right hand and the left hand side. She is going to get an opportunity. I don't blame her for not taking it. Yeah, for a cross clear. This board is garbage, absolute
Mhm.
garbage for Savage. So, you know, it hurt her to use those blues right there, but
Yeah.
uh, definitely advantage Dave Smith says out of this level 8. That was a brutal, brutal board, Doc.
Mhm.
You will be hearing from our lawyers.
Exactly. You'll be hearing from not only from my lawyer and Ook's lawyer, but Savage's lawyer, MrOctagon's lawyer, and everybody else's lawyer in the chat.
Look at that clear from Dave. Dave is going to be out of here at just at 6:30 if the doc cooperates, and he is going to call it 6:29 for DaveSmithSays. So now we've got just about 30 seconds for Savage. If she manages to win this, I will be the most shook. This that's just because knocking this entire level down in 30 seconds, it can be done, but that would be nigh on miraculous play, and unfortunately the doctor not giving her the pills she needs to pull off said miracle. Got about 7 seconds left, and we can confirm it is Dave Smith who takes game number one. And yeah, Savage is going to be very happy to just get that last level 8 out of her brain. That was absolutely cruel from the doctor.
Mm-hmm. We know that RNG can play a role in everything. We don't want this kind of RNG. We don't want clearly unfair boards. Briggs said in the chat that that board that Savage had shouldn't exist, and I kind of agree.
Yeah, I'd say that is absolutely correct. So we are resetting Savage's stream to try to get her up to speed. That lag apparently is on multiple sides. So always thanks to our restreamer, the Dave, handling the technical wizardry that makes this look as good as it does. He also puts together our YouTube page. Well, at least gets all of our videos up onto YouTube. We are very close to 1,000 followers there. If you haven't already, be sure you hit that like and subscribe button over on YouTube. If you're watching this on YouTube now, hit it now. What are you waiting for? So yes. So yeah, just a slight break as we get things.
If you subscribe to our YouTube channel, Savage's RNG will get better.
This is not a promise of services to be rendered. Dr. Mario is not an actual doctor. All right, so they are back and running up. So let's see if we've got some. Let's see if we've got our readies. Dave Smith asking if he needs to start later. I think everything should be fine. So we got a ready from Dave Smith. We got a ready from Savage Octagon. We got a ready from our streamer, the Dave. And 3, 2, 1. Bills. All right, Dave Smith with the start. Savage, yes, right on a much much cleaner time. I like the opportunities that Dave has on the top of this board. He's got uses for all of his different pill half options, and well, I mean, he did, and so that is really helpful. Love that combo that he just set up, but that right-hand side is a little high, so we're going to see what he's going to do with that. But looking over at Savage's board, same thing on her left-hand side. So she is working her way down on that as Dave is working his way down on his right.
Yeah, and Dave does have a lot of blue on his board. I think his has just been blue heavy the whole time. And Savage dealing with a lot of red and blue, so you know, not that anybody really wants to have a lot of blue on their board. I'd rather have any other color on my board than blue. But
I think Dave
go ahead.
I think Dave's setting it for a T clear here. That's gonna, or an L clear, I should say. Yeah, that's gonna help him by reducing the number of pills he needs by 1. Just those little minor adjustments and improvements are really what makes this game work better. Savage out at a 123. Dave going to be behind. Oof, nearly missed drops there. One more blue, though, is going to put him out at a 132. So good play from both these players. You know, a minute and a half, about what you're aiming for at that first level. And both of them keeping that pace going. Savage getting some good pills there to get this level going on, and Dave nearly out of yellows already. That is not a good sign for our number 14 seed.
Yeah, I think Dave wants to do something with that blue in column 7, but I don't think he can quite figure it out in a way that is acceptable for him. But let's see, because he's Dave Smith. He'll come up with something incredibly creative.
Yeah, I did decide to go ahead and burn that one. I think that was the right move, as he's got another thought going down at the bottom of his board about knocking out some yellows horizontally to kind of work his way down to that blue at the bottom. I think, yeah, he had the option right there. I don't think he saw it.
He wants to fat log out those yellows. At least I think he did.
That would be
there's his opportunity.
Yeah, he does take a good smart choice to get that blue knocked out. Savage out at a 305 though, and it looks like Dave Smith can be out at a 311. So keeping it close, but Savage is sniffing some cider, and I think she may be trying to get it. So far, so good on that front. Great tuck there to keep the board clean on the top line. But yeah, that big yellow pile down at the bottom could be a problem for her, or it could just all come out magically.
I love when that happens, when we start talking about a potential issue and then it just resolves itself. Surprised Savage didn't use that first double blue to get rid of that garbage, but another one comes up for her, so she's able to use that to clean up most of what's going on.
Honestly, I expected that she was looking for underclear, a double underclear there. Does not go for that, but it all works out in the end. Dave Smith, little bit of garbage situation going on. I think, yeah, this pill is going to help out with that a little bit, but that misdrop, not good for him. He is sitting, as we said, in a 1-game-to-nothing lead, so he can afford to drop this one, but if he does, it's going to be a decider in the next game.
Yeah, and yes, he can drop the game. Does he want to drop it? No.
Of course not.
He would want to get everything done as soon as he can, as he could. It's a nice drop. He's setting up for a horizontal clear on that yellow, and using that the extra yellow to decrease his drop time. He's going to be out a few seconds after Savage, so Savage still has that advantage.
Yeah, we're looking at about a 6-second difference between these two, as Savage gets herself caught in conflicting choices. Her conflicting plans. She did go with one that took out a double, but left her with a little bit of garbage cleanup. So she's going to be doing that cleanup. I like the idea that she's got running here. She would love a yellow-red to clear things up. Is going to get it and makes a nice drop combo. So, so far so good. But Dave Smith, yeah, look at that. Beautiful combo from Dave Smith.
Oof. Again, Dave Smith doing Dave Smith things.
Shocking no one. And look at that. Just,
beautiful.
Chef's kiss. Chef's kiss from Dave.
Savage does have everything kind of clumped on the right side of her board. Oh,
wonderful drop cross.
Yeah, for a second she wanted to use that pill, but I believe she looked at her next box, saw that she had the opportunity for that double red, which was much more what she wanted to see. And now she just needs a couple of blues.
Yep, got that horizontal already set up. Going to be out at a 640, and she is going to take game number 2. Clearly was a little stressed about that situation, but All right, so already thinking ahead to a potential showdown with her husband later on in a couple of days, actually. So I know she wants that, but he's going to be facing on Packy to see if that can happen. And Savage is going to have to finish off DaveSmithSays to get to that point as well. So GG's to both of our players for a really good game number 2. But now it's time for more D-Cider. Little Dave cider for you.
We have readies from both of our players.
Huzzah.
And DrMC bot counting down 3, 2, 1, pills.
Right. And Dave Smith underway. Savage underway as well. And Savage, no real access to red from the top of this board. That is not friendly, dog. So, so far the doctor has not given her a plethora of red, but it is always just one pill from happening.
No, you said it, and you did that.
Yeah, I probably did.
I'm sorry, Ook.
So, yeah, that's a thing that happened. But look at all these double opportunities for Savage at the bottom of this board. She has got doubles upon doubles, is going to set that one up. Love that. Is going to go ahead and just say, yeah, screw it. I'm going to take care of the next one as well. And so there's that. It's going to leave her a little bit of garbage, but she has left herself in an I need blue situation. Wisely takes out some of that from the top. Really wishes that she could not have to do it that way, but here we are. Man, the doc is being real friendly with those pills as Savage is 1, 2, 3 yellows down, 116. That is a heck of a time. And Dave Smith is 1 red away from doing the same out at a 127. So far, so good for both players. All right, Savage might have been thinking horizontal, or she might have just placed that yellow straight up for reasons that are beyond me, because you know she's a better player than I am. So who am I to question it? Wisely makes a good call there. Yellow red will be a bailout pill for her here. Yellow blue, unfortunately, not what she wants to see, but happy to see that yellow red. And yeah, all of her pills are very much chunked up, so we'll see if that causes any slowdowns. As Dave Smith is trying to dig his own self out, is going to get a little bit of dig out here, but you know, facing a little bit of garbage.
And then
That's going to help.
There's his combo, and there's no more garbage on his board.
Yeah, who said anything about garbage for Dave? Nobody says anything about garbage for Dave. Dave doesn't know the meaning of garbage. So Dave again setting up for, well, it was going to be a cross clear, but now he's got an extra horizontal setup, and that is going to take him pretty deeply down his board. Would love for him to get a yellow red. There it is, and that's the setup that he wanted, but now he's got that extra garbage on top of his blue as Savage out at a 302. So definitely in the driver's seat here in this game number 3.
Dave still working on that traffic light over in his column 8. All of them were different colors, which again we don't always like to see stacked on top of each other, especially in columns 1 or 8. It makes it very, very difficult to try to take those out anything but vertically.
Yeah, so Dave Smith did find his way out of that level, but Savage already deep into this level 8. She is just turning on the afterburners here and trying to ice this game. She has everything set up for some nice horizontals. She's going to make that choice for the red blue and have the reds already set up for a horizontal. But now she really needs red, and she's getting that pro-Ukraine blitz, all yellow and all blue. Not what she wants to see, but is going to finally get some pills that she would like. That yellow red is going to be great for her, but now she needs 4 more reds. There's 2 of them. And there's 1 and 2 more out of the 428. Dave Smith also not getting the pills that he wants, and looks like a little bit of maybe some controller mishaps there. I don't know, but
I think it was a couple of misdrops, one right after the other. But he's again, looking to take them out in a combo, which he can do with this next pill. There we go. Now he's clean.
yes, indeed, and that combo is going to help him quite a bit. Blue-yellow would be perfect for him, but it's going to come 1 pill too late. That's all right. He's out at a 513, and he's going to have some catching up to do. But looking over at Savage's board, that is a lot of blue, and that's a phrase I'm really sick of saying, Doc. So
yeah, it
now
is, and she's just getting kind of pelted with it. And now it's pelted with yellow right after that. And you could see Savage kind of shaking her head. You can with Savage, you can usually tell what she's thinking during a run. She's if she doesn't like what's happening, she will shake her head. She does not, she does that a lot. And
definitely an open book, that one.
Yeah. Which
But
is absolutely fine. No issues with that at all.
Probably doesn't realize that she is very much in the driver's seat here. Just needs to hold serve and is going to find herself taking the win out of this one. But yeah, all she can think of is, oh my gosh, these pills are terrible. What am I doing? But it is going to be Savage out at a 632, and she's going to take a look over to the side. Dave, wow, really steamrolled back into that one at a 640. Did not even see him coming back that fast, but it is going to be SavageOctagon, your 3 seed, going on to round number 2. So GG's to both these players.
And welcome back to the Dr. Mario Championship, October 2023, round 1. My name is JonDatFlindo. Joining me in the booth is who we just saw take that win off of DSS, is SavageOctagon, bringing you our number 6 seed Swang GG versus our number 11 seed Dars 1988. Savage, how you feeling?
I'm a little shaky still right now. I was stressed out by some of that RNG, and I'm also very cold, so I'm kind of like have all this nervous energy, but I'm really stoked for this match, Flindo.
Yeah, absolutely. This was one of the matches I was looking forward to the most. These players have only met twice, and they have a record of 1-1. Swang won the first meeting back in, I believe it was September of 2022. And then Dars won in round 1 of our championship in December last year. So I know Swang's ready to come out swinging. Dars is ready to come out swinging. This is going to be a heck of a match.
It really is. These two are both so talented, and I think their play styles are going to be really entertaining to see against one another. Swang with all of the horizontals, and Dars just has a great combo of straightforward play and seeing several layers down into the level. So this is so exciting.
Absolutely. And we both have players both on high fever, or we did at the moment. Okay, Swang's back on fever there. We have a ready from Swang, I believe. We have a ready from Dars as well.
I was playing on off because, I heard people talking about Betty, and it kind of threw me off. I need my team chill.
I kind of wondered if it was getting to your head. I mean,
a little bit.
The best choice is to play on fever, but I digress. We have our readies.
I did have that bet with you. If I PB on Fever, I'm not going to use Chill for a year. But we have our countdown: 3, 2, 1, and pills.
All right, both players virtually out at the same time. Oh, a lot of blue already on the top line for Swang, but he starts out with some blue pills and is able to get a really nice horizontal there immediately. Takes a little bit of drop time there and still dealing with a lot of blue there, Savage.
Yeah, and both players actually having their first or early clears be horizontal. And you see Dar's already doing the kind of play that I mentioned. He tucked those red yellows all the way down and to the left to make that short stack setup that's almost going to come there. So he's looking really good, but he's about 5 viruses back.
Yeah, I'm a little concerned for both players. Their boards are starting to look pretty split. And if you look at Dars's board, he's got 5 out of 13 remaining are blues. Now 5 out of 12. He's got some nice setups if he can just get the pills that he needs here. But Swang with a really nice
That was a really good
there.
Yeah, that was a really good setup. In the meantime, yeah, so you saw Dar setting up for a combo, but dropped it, caused a lot of drop time and maybe wrecked a potential high up opportunity. Swung out at about a 110. Excellent time here. Dar's that column 1 is just going to be a little bit slow with, how vertical it is, but as soon as he gets a red yellow, it's going to be perfect. So let's have that
he's
happen.
getting a blue rush.
Sorry, Dars.
Why, Savage? Why?
I'm so sorry. I thought I tied up the rivalry, but yeah.
But he does manage to get out with an L, at about a 134. Swang looking like he's setting up a really complicated combo. He doesn't quite clear it out the way he wants to, but he gets just about all of the garbage cleared out. He just does have a little bit there in his column 7. He might be setting up to clear out that red horizontally. We'll see what he does there. He certainly has the opportunity for it if he wants it.
Yeah, that was looking pretty fancy, and I wasn't quite sure what was going to go on because I noticed the garbage drop potential. Meanwhile, Dars has an extremely flat top line, but so much of it was yellow. So you notice that some of it is garbage on top with column 3 and column 5. He's got that yellow horizontal, so it's looking very good. Another drop combo, but that red sort of horizontal line across the near top of his board is troublesome to me. You'd want to take that out horizontally, but I think it's up too high, John.
Yeah, what he could do, and I think before he
never mind.
Played it, I thought he might try to build up some yellow reds and then drop it down and have the red there in his row 2 completely empty. He didn't go for that route, which is completely fine. But now he's got a situation where his right side is really clumped up. But right as I say that, he gets it all cleared out. Just needing a couple more reds and a couple more yellows. Wondering how he's going to attack that yellow horizontally as Swang clears out his reds horizontally out at a 301 and Dar's out at a 303. Really tight match here as we go into our penultimate level.
That's for sure. This is really, really exciting. Swang already setting up those trademark horizontals, getting them. All the clears except for that one basically have been horizontal so far, and you see another one raining down. They are really quick and efficient. Meanwhile, Dar is on the left-hand side of the board. No use for red up high, so he's going to just have to trash that in a way that he can work with the layers down underneath, but it's ideal to take stuff out from the top line, and so that's going to be a little bit slow for him. So he's now down back to a deficit there.
Yeah, and it's such a bizarre board for Dars, and he's playing it really well, as best he can with what he's given. Fortunately, he is finally starting to get some of those blue yellows and able to get past that first little wave of viruses that he was given. But meanwhile, Swang looking for another crazy combo. Look at that. He clears out half of his viruses with that huge combo. Now needing a lot of red, though, and getting nothing but yellow.
That's going to give Dars a little bit of an opportunity to catch up here. Notice he's being very conscientious about setting up those horizontals in the bottom of the board. Look at this blue-yellow, perfect for him there. Yeah, it's looking really, really good for him. And this is a smart prioritization under clearing that yellow so as not to wreck the possibility for the red horizontal at the bottom. Meanwhile, speaking of horizontals with red, Swang out at about a 440. And wow, Dars is really, he sort of yo-yoed back and forth in this level. He is so close, out at a 448.
Yeah, it's still really close. Looking at Swong's board, setting up for another huge horizontal red. Sorry, I got a frog on my throat there.
Oh.
But I don't think that's quite what he was going for. But he still does manage to clear it out.
Yeah, and there's a lot of doubles on this board, so it's very, very friendly at the moment. It's looking very, very good. Now, Dars is about 4 viruses back, and the board just isn't as friendly in terms of all the doubles being together as tightly packed as Swong's are. But notice as he gets down the board, there's going to be a lot of horizontal opportunities. Still, the yellow-blue, not what Dars needs, and he just throws it away, makes sure that he can use it to drop other combos.
Yeah, this is a really nice board for Swong. Excuse me, goodness.
Oh. Oh, I know. It's just good Dr. Mario makes you so emotional. I understand.
I know, right? Well, so does bad Dr. Mario. Just
Oh,
so we're
that's
clear.
true. That's so true.
But yeah, Swong is really close here. He's just needing a few more blues and a couple more reds. He's going to be out of here. He would have liked to have that red piece one more lower, but it's not going to be a big deal. Ooh, I think he meant to. Oh, okay. He's going to clear the blue out horizontally and drop it down.
Yeah, if he had tried to do that blue vertically if he ran the risk of getting too much blue yellow, it would have dropped and wrecked the thing that he had going on. And wow,
whoa,
that combo from Dars was amazing. We had a drop fat log, so obviously a timber situation, but wow. So Swong did win that one, but I'm glad that we got to see that combo from Dars.
Yeah, absolutely. That was really cool. Just needing one more blue and 2 more reds. Hopefully the doc gives them to him. And there we go, out at a 651. It's a lot closer match than what the time suggested. That was really fun to watch.
Yeah, and that was really impressive, the way that Dars was able to stay with Swong, and even if he was at a little bit of a deficit, come back. And Dars is an extremely strong player, and one thing that when you're playing Dars, you do not want to see those virus counts get close, because he is such a recovery expert, and he will charge you down.
Yeah, I know Swong said in his stream the other day that Dars is one of those opponents that really gets him nervous, so this has been really fun to watch.
All right, we have a ready from Dars and a ready from Swong.
All right, and our countdown: 3, 2, 1, pills.
Pills. Nice opening tuck there from Dars. That's a big thing that players should try to look for early on, is when you see you can tuck a shape inside and make sure to clear out a vertical more efficiently.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh, big there misdrop there from Dars. As I was fixing to say that Swong has got a really floaty board, but he manages to bring it down amazingly with that combo. He's just got that one high red virus in his column 7. But a nice double red will help to clear that up really quickly if he's able to get it.
Mm-hmm. And he's probably wanting to clear out those yellows horizontally, as is, of course, what he is always going to try to do. And that's going to require pretty complicated moves there. You see this red yellow going to be perfect for that. And of course, he gets that double yellow. So he's at 7. Dars is at 11. He's going to have to take some drop time. But this board is very straightforward, if a little vertical, which is troubling, but there are paths.
Yeah, and Dars has got the setups he needs. He just needs the pills now at this point. Well, I'm really interested to see what he's going to do with that double blue. I like the play to put it on column 8, because if he puts it on his column, what is that, column 5? It's just a wasted pill half. It was a very nice job putting that over on column 8, as Swong out at about a 124 and into his level 7.
And this level 7 has a ton of yellow in it for Swong. Of course, he gets a bunch of it cleared out, opens up that diversity. He's going to end up with a lot of red-blue in the middle of that board. Hope for that double yellow for him for the right-hand side of that board as Dars into his level 7.
And of
There you
course,
go.
there's
Yeah.
the double yellow.
Mhm.
Commentator's blessing from SavageOctagon, ladies and gentlemen.
You're welcome. Would have liked to see a little bit of that even-handed commentator's blessing for Dars, but Dars a dozen behind now. Would love to see, yeah, this clear out. There's going to be a bunch of red, but he can take this out horizontally, which it looks like he's signaling he wants to do, and he's got that opportunity. Boom, there it goes. Nice combo for Dars.
Swong's just got a huge cluster of red and yellow here on the right side of his board. He had some really nice plays to kind of uncluster that, and he's down now to just 3 more reds. He's only going to need 4 more pill halves. Plays that one on top, goes ahead and tuck this under. He goes for the drill clear, which is interesting. Wondering what the difference was if he had tucked it down time-wise. I think it would have been about the same, but either way, he's out at a 240 into his level 8.
Mm-hmm. And Dars did block off the opportunity to take that blue out in row 1 horizontally because he does have that option as well. So now he's kind of stuck waiting for a little bit of drop time. So he could have been out by now, but it's not too big of a deal. He's out at 301. And yeah, he was down by a dozen at the beginning of the level, and then he narrowed that gap. So again, he's going to charge back.
Yeah, and that's just a testament to how good of a player Dars is. I know that he and I have both had some really intense matches, and he's not one that I ever look forward to playing. So, But anyway, getting back into the match here, Swong again setting up a just ridiculous combo. He's gonna need a blue to fire it off. He would ideally like a blue red, and he's gonna get
that
it.
one. Oh man, wow, that just
Good
cleared off
night.
so much space. Really nicely done. Good opening board for Dars here. He's really cleaning this out, and it's just very friendly shapes. Like I like the move to take out that blue horizontally, but I love, yes, please put that double blue on column 1. That's going to save a lot of drop time. And look at that. He has tied this game back up. Smart horizontal on the bottom. It's going to need a bunch of reds, so let's make that happen. Let's be even-handed with the commentator's blessing.
Yeah. I'm wondering if Dars is going to try to de-sandwich these reds. It's possible, but he'll need a lot of blue to do it, obviously. We'll see what he does with this blue here. He's going to go ahead and set up a platform to decrease some drop time. Swung out at a 424. Dars doesn't go for the D-sandwich, which I think is the right decision. It was going to be really tough. He was going to have to build up some platforms and hope for a double blue, but he gets out at a 436, about 10, 12 seconds behind Swung as we move into our final level.
Yeah, Swong setting up a big horizontal, nice combo, sets off 2 other verticals in there. Now he's got all red, yellow on the top, so he's going to be having to think about blue as strategic garbage, as Swong really likes to say, and to be working down lower in those layers. Yeah, he might even be going for a fat log at the bottom of that board with blue, yellow.
Man, Dars just had a really sick combo. That was amazing. And he's brought this down to 23 viruses, just 6 viruses behind Swong at the moment. But Swong has got some really nice, look at that huge fat log.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah,
Really
I knew
nice
as soon as one of those blue yellows went down there, I was like, yeah, that's what Swong's gonna do. He's down to 10. Dars at 18, 17. And here's the problem here. I'm very worried about the RNG for Dars here. Nice horizontal drop, because this board is pretty friendly in terms of its shapes, but having a bunch of red there is a problem. I do like the horizontal garbage clear there, although it's less efficient.
Yeah, I'm not sure about what he did with that red-blue, tucking it in between the yellows. Probably a misdrop, hard to say. But I don't think it's really going to matter, and it's not, as Swong is out at a 6:04. I think that's the fastest time we've seen tonight. GG's from Swong. GG's to Dars. Swong moves on to play tomorrow.
Wow. And again, these two are so electrifying to watch. I love to watch them. Swong out, or rather Dars out at a 6:24. And very, very tense games, you two. Thank you so much for those. And we are going to move along to another match in our round 1 that I, John, am going to have to go and recuse myself for. So you're going to see MrOctagon versus Tacky. We'll be back in a few. This is the DrMC.
And welcome back to the DrMC 2023 October Championship. My name is JonDatFlindo. Joining me in the booth, who we just saw, is Swang GG. We're bringing you our number 7 seed Packy versus our number 10 seed MrOctagon with a Savage Octagon cameo there in the background. Swang, what do you think of this match?
Man, this is absolute. This is the most hype match, I gotta say, in any round one history, I think, or in this month in particular, because Packy is an absolute dominating beast with the speed run, with his speed run prowess here. But MrOctagon, he is a dark horse. He has not competed in 2023. His only other appearance was in 2022, in which he also both times have been qualifying for JB Henry's charity event there. So that's really cool to see. But yeah, I mean, he put up a fantastic 17:43 qualifier. So he's hit 17 in both times, and you know, this is going to be an absolute barn burner of a match, if I were to say so myself, Lindo.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm excited for this match. Now, here's an interesting thing to look at. Packy really needs to win this game, because if he does not win this game, then if Savage Octagon moves on to win the tournament, then she's going to bump him down to the number 3 seed. So Packy's really got to win this, and you know that he's going to be fighting hard.
Oh man, if there's anything you don't want to see, is Packy and that turn it on into that next gear, and that's what Packy usually does with all of his matches here. And we're going to see some absolute magic come from these two players here. So it's going to be, like I said, folks, it's going to be wild.
Yeah, absolutely. Just waiting on readies from our players. We have a ready from Packy and a ready from Mr. O.
Oh, I'm excited, Flindo! I can't wait to count this down. All right,
3,
here we go.
2,
1. Pills into the round 1 matchup of our 7 seed Packy 609 versus our 10 seed MrOctagon. Flindo, what do you think of these boards? Wow, I as soon as I say, I look over and MrOctagon demolishing his board. He has a 7 virus lead over Packy.
Yeah, woo! I saw Mr. O's board and I was like, man, I want that. Why can't I get that board? But this has been really nice for him. He's just making plays upon plays, drops upon drops. He hasn't had a single pill that he hasn't had a use for yet. So this is really nice for him. But looking over at Packy's board, already down to 15, just flying through this level 6 Swang.
Both players are absolutely putting on a clinic here, and they're just trading punches right now. MrOctagon holding on to a 6 virus lead going into it. And like you said, he's playing that clean board. I think none of his every single pill he's had has had a use for it, which is really cool to see. Meanwhile, we look over at Packy's board, and he just has a glut of blue and reds over into it. There's no need for those yellows as he's going into it. And MrOctagon down to his final 2.
Wow, Mr. O out at a 103.
I am speechless. Yeah, that wow. Okay. Anyways, still continuing into his level 7 is MrOctagon, demolishing it again, playing that clean board. He's just making it. But Packy out at a 117, which is a really great time as well.
This is just amazing so far. I'm down for this. Let's get some more of this.
Oh, absolutely. But I'm not really liking Packy's board. He has a bunch of yellows and blues, and I'm not really seeing... Okay, he's now exposed red, so it's a little bit more, but now has 2 chasms in that 3rd and 5th column. So perhaps he's going to try and avoid that drop time. Yeah, he's signaling to clear those yellows out horizontally if the pills come, and I think it's a smart play considering he has no other need for those blues and reds.
Yeah, and speaking of blues or reds, that's a lot of what Mr. O had. He has since worked down to having mostly just red now to work with. Especially on that top line. In fact, that's all he has access to is red viruses. Get some nice drops to expose some of those yellows. Would really like to see him be able to drop this red down in his column 6 and open up that blue underneath. I love that he's setting up for this horizontal there in his row 3. Really nice foresight there by Mr. O. Gonna take the horizontal on the right side, followed by a double yellow. Just gonna need 2 more reds to get this horizontal in row 3. Gets it out at a 228. He is just flying through this block.
Scorching time out of this level 7 there, and he really prioritized that. He could have cleared the reds up top, he could have cleared at the bottom, but I think he wisely discarded pills when he needed to really make sure that there were no conflicting plans going into his end game. And meanwhile, as we see him set up, he's just going setups upon setups here. Mr. O dropping everything down and clearing it all is what he's going to do. But Packy's going to be joining him in at 4 as soon as he gets one more yellow. And please, Doc, give him a yellow out at a 3 on the dot there. And he's not too pleased with that time, but, you know, he's going to shake that off.
Yeah, and here's the thing, though. That 3 minutes, that can still get you a sub-6 very easily in this level block. So both players still on a really rapid-fire pace here. Mr. O looks like he's a little bit hamstrung by the RNG. We're seeing a little bit more garbage on his board that we've seen in the past 2 levels, but still making some really great work with what he's been given. Oh, wow, what an adjustment, especially on high speed. That was insane.
Yeah, when he had that double, he did a micro adjustment, removed it all over. I like how Packy's going to tuck that yellow red at the bottom and the firstmost column there to really keep it as clean as possible here. He is holding on to that, considering that he was out about 30 to 35 seconds behind Mr. O. He's now since closed the gap, looking for a bunch of blues and reds to, again, advance his board. I like that yellow. He's going to take that. Oh, yeah, is Packy.
Mr. O making some really nice prioritization there to get both of the reds horizontal and set up nicely for another blue horizontal at the bottom of his board. A little bit of a traffic light in his column 7. You see the blue, yellow, and red stacked up there respectively, but he's got the setups he needs. He's got the red yellows. He takes the drill down, just going to need one more blue. But Packy putting on the Jets in this level 8 as Mr. O out at a 424. Packy's not far behind. He just needs a few more yellows, and he's going to be joining Mr. O in this final level. Oh, what a misdrop there from Pack.
Luckily, not too worried. I mean, he was able to clear that over. And yeah, he can clear up those yellows horizontally there. Has now since closed the gap out at a 439, which is an excellent time getting out of level 8. Meanwhile, looking at the board here, I do like Packy's board. It's a little bit more clustered at the top, which means that he's going to minimize that drop time, whereas Mr. O has chasms in his 3rd and 7th column, and also a lot of red in his top line here. But it can be anyone's game going into this. These players are both neck and neck going into level 9, John.
Yeah, but the thing about Mr. O's board is he's been getting the pills that he needs, and it's been really helpful to him because just even with taking the drill downs, he's pretty much had a use for every pill that's come his way, and he's already down to 14. A really nice double red there. Almost a misdrop there, but he does manage to get it moved over into the right column, and wow, this is just insane. And this is leaving me speechless. Mr. O's down to just blue viruses now, as Packy down to 18. Really gonna need some help, either from great pills for him or terrible pills for Mr. O. He's just needing 2 more blues.
Oh, sweet tea from Packy. But just needs 2 blues. Is he going to join the sub-6 club? Is Mr. O. He just needs 1 blue. And he's going to get it 6! Whoa! Oh, man. Holy cannoli. Wow. Wow.
Wow. But Packy really not that far behind. Just needs 3 more blues. And there's the double blue, really nice. Gonna get this final one here out at a 624. Only a 25-second difference. In most matches, a 624 is a really good chance to get you a win.
Well, yeah, for sure. I mean, you go into the 6s, 630, even towards like the 645. The players are trying to aim for about 6-ish minutes into this first round 1 level block, and I think any of those times are respectable. Losing at 624 is nothing. Is absolutely brilliant playing from Packy. He set that tee up in his board, had all crystal clear, and dropped it all down, and has a really elegant setups, and were very efficient. But it's those PB strats. Those getter PB strats is a really tough meta to beat here, Flindo.
Now, I'm curious because we know Packy is on console. I believe that Mr. O is on emulator, but is he taking the Savage Octagon strats and playing keyboard, or is he on a controller?
I don't know. We're going to have to go to the booth and figure out whether or not he's doing it here. I kind of grimaced a bit because Mr. O's board was all blues and yellows and no reds. He's being very creative with his clears, which is excellent. And he is going to drop that down. He had nothing to do with those blues at the top there. This board on Packy's side is looking a lot better. He's just chunking everything down. Sweet tea in the middle here. Everything is mostly free and clear. But now Packy has the same problem with all blues and yellows on his top line. Very difficult board to work with.
Yeah, and Mr. O's having a pretty difficult board too. You see that his column 5 there, those double yellows, it's the only thing left, and it's going to cause him to be really split there. As Savage saying in our chat that he's using a on emulator with an NES controller.
Very cool, nice. I think that's the way to do it here. I know a few players, myself included, and Floyd plays on NES OG NES controller with a USB adapter as well. So. No, I think that is the way. That is the way. But there is no wrong way to play this game as long as you demolish viruses. And as we see that, both these players are one virus apart. It's neck and neck.
Yeah, but look at all this yellow that Packy's having to deal with, and he is not happy with it. I mean, he's got the focus on, but he's just not getting the pills. And Mr. O, very rightly prioritizes that blue-red onto the blue. He saw the double red in his next pillbox. He's going to be out of this level at a 140 as Packy finally starts to get the yellows. He's just going to need 2 more, but he is already behind the 8 ball. Oh, and very close to a top out, but he's going to manage to get out of it. 149 out of his level 6.
Yeah, that's a seed you do not wish on any player here. That was absolutely cruel just seeing that. I mean, we kind of looked and saw it was really bad. And as we see bad, look at Mr. O's top line. He's got all reds here. Now has exposed a little bit more color diversity on his board. And meanwhile, we look over at Packy's side. I do like the color diversity. He is going to drop things down. Is Packy going to take that? I think it's going to clear out horizontally. Yes, he does. He has brought that gap back considering his end game was really, really grim getting out of level 6 here, Flindo.
Yeah, Mr. O just had an opportunity for a sweet tea. He elected not to take it, which is perfectly fine. Either way, it was still a great clear for him. He's setting up for an offset fat log there at the bottom of his board with the blue yellows. We'll see if that pops up for him. Love this play right here. He tucks in the red yellow, has the yellow drop down, and sets up the next clear.
Oh, here comes that yellow blue you've been holding out on, clearing it and getting an offset fat log. Very nicely done. And look at that monster combo from Packy's side. You blink and you miss it, and you just demolished half of his board with that. Both these players are playing neck and neck here, and Packy just needs a bunch of reds to get out of his, and Mr. also needs a bunch of reds. So, Doc, I'm going to actually say this for once, which is rare, but give us some reds?
Yeah, right? Yeah, Mr. O, the viruses just left him in that oops all red situation. Packy wisely setting up a drop combo that would clear out the blue. He's out first at about a 318. Mr. O just getting hamstrung by the RNG out at a 328. Now 10 seconds behind Packy, but with a really nice top line to start off there, Swong.
Yeah, Packy just needs 1 blue to finish us off here. Mr. O going to town on his level 8 here. Going to clear it down. Look at that combo from Packy destroying a lot of his virus here. He was really in dire need of that blue, and he did get it at just the opportune time. Meanwhile, we take a look at Mr. O's board, and he's got setups upon setups upon setups ready to fire off. I do like that drill down. He's exposed a lot of his board, and a lot of flexibility going on is Mr. O. Meanwhile, we take a look over at Packy's side. I didn't see where that blue garbage came from in his 6th column here, Flindo. Did you happen to catch that?
No, I wasn't sure. I was being concerned about all this red over here on Mr. O's board.
Fair enough. I mean, it's hard to follow both players here, and it's like you get a glimpse of one, a glimpse of the other, and all of a sudden you see this explosion of colors on one. But as we say that, there's Packy getting everything set up here. Mistro is spired up on top, and yeah, I mean, this is poof, man, they're doing some work and magic with this board here.
Oh, look at this double red though. Great play on the horizontal. Mr. O's brought this back into a lead. Only a very slight lead, but still a lead. Just needing blues, reds, and yellows. Now no blues, just needing reds and yellows. Packy needing mostly yellow. Down to 6 viruses. Mr. O down to 3, setting up for a horizontal here. Mr. O, great prioritization there on that red-yellow. Sets it up. Packy down to just 3 viruses remaining. Mr. O gonna be out first at a 505. Okay,
Packy,
good.
there we go.
Packy
Awesome.
gets the red yellow that he needed.
There we go.
512.
512. Wow, and considering that both these players are neck and neck getting out of level 8 at a 5-ish minutes, or we don't really want to see that. None of these players do, but I mean, if you're neck and neck, you have to take it. we saw that with your match against Betty B with that second game. So it was really, it can be anyone's game here. But as we're seeing with anyone's game, we're taking a look, and yeah, look at that. Mr. O is going to drop that down. He does bracket clear that over, minimizing that drop time. Very nicely done.
Yeah, Hacky's got a lot of setups here. He does get a nice drop combo, does leave himself with a little blue garbage, but a couple nice pills right after enables him to get out of that pretty nicely. A little concerned about what he's going to do with that yellow staircase in his columns 2 through about 5. It looks
there
like
you go.
he's going to take the drop combo into the sweet tea. Really nice play there by Packy. He's got essentially no garbage on his board, but a lot of red at the top swung.
Yeah, I was wondering how he's going to blow up that yellow staircase, and he ended up manufacturing that. I mean, I think it's a smart play. I think a lot of players ask, is it worth it to create setups with doubles in mind? And honestly, with the way this RNG is set up within the game, it's better to just hold and not plan for the doubles. Just, that's considered a blessing. Look at that excellent vision from Packy. Holy smokes.
This is gonna come down to the RNG on this one. Packy has some really great setups. Gets the red blue to get the drill down. Mr. O just down to 2, but he's just gonna need one more red and one more blue. Gets the blue, gets the red, out at a 657. Packy out at a 658.
Ooh, that is really, 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 really close. We're gonna have to go to the tape on that one. Rules state that if the timers are within 1 to 2 seconds, we'll have to go back to the tape here, and that is as close as it can be. What an absolute nail biter! Holy cannoli!
Yeah.
Wow!
And I believe the official review is 3 seconds in the rules.
Okay.
Yeah, but this is definitely within that. So we're going to be sure of that, because sometimes late timer starts happen, and if Packy happened to have a late timer start, I don't think he did, but it very well could be a tie. But right now it looks like Mr. O has taken the game.
Hey, it's our friend Savage Octagon.
And she cannot believe it. She's so stoked.
Yeah, we're gonna have to go to the tape here, because that was it's an absolute nail biter, I think, there. Whether it starts soon, ends later, whatever it is, we're gonna make sure that all players, whenever they are given this situation, then we want to make sure they have a fair chance at it. We want to make sure it comes down to the tape.
Yeah, and taking a look at our bracket here, in round 2 we'll have Savage Octagon versus Swong, and if Mr. O takes this, he'll go on to take to play the winner of our next match with it, which is Ibar versus Sarah. And if Mr. O happens to win that, and Savage wins her round 2, then we have an Octagauntlet.
There you go. Ooh. We're just going to get a moment to get a confirmation from our tech team to make sure that the footage is checked in both ways here. Chat giving you the props for that Octo Gauntlet.
Yeah, I got to oblige Riggs here. There we go, Riggs.
Hey,
with the hook.
Good thing it's not a hook, line, and sinker, captain of the swim team.
Yeah.
We're gonna get it over here.
Mr. O with a 657, Packy with a 658. Mr. Octagon coming in his second game ever, sweeping Packy, and we got some Octagon hugs over there, and it's just fantastic. GG's to both players. Wow. How do you follow that? We're going to find out with Ibar and Sarah Sparkle coming up next. This is the Dr. Mario Championship.
Good evening, everybody, and welcome back to the October DrMC Speedrun Round 1 Gold Bracket. I'm here in the booth with Savage Octagon. Savage, how are you doing? I mean, I don't think words can express that enough, but what's going on? What's going on?
Okay, well, first of all, everything's coming up Octagons, but secondly, it took me so freaking long to beat Packy that I don't know. I might have to just send Mr. Octagon back into the basement to the NES where he belongs. I don't know. I just heard a yell from downstairs. Yeah, but that was an amazing match. Packy played so well. A lot of great things happened. And okay, well, I'm super stoked for this match. I love both of these players. Like, woo. This is only their third meeting though, Swang. I'm surprised because they've both been around for so long.
Yeah, that's pretty surprising. If it's only their third meeting, they're stalwarts in the brackets here. We see them very often, and yet this is their third matchup. So I find it very interesting here. And you know, Sarah came back last month from an injury hiatus. That glad she's back here. And you know, Ibar had his twins that were born in 2023. So both these players, well, I guess Sarah mainly had the injury thing that she got overcome, and Ibar is kicking butt and taking names, but we're saying that in the Dr. Mario thing, of course. But we think players are going to get ready for this matchup here. We have readies from both players, and Savage, let's count them down.
3, 2,
1, and
pills. Nice opener there. Ibar opted not to take those blues out horizontally. The two blue yellows would have gotten him that. So now he's going to be just taking things out vertically. So he's got to make sure he relies on a lot of blue yellow to get that done with not a lot of drop time.
And meanwhile, Sarah did some pill gymnastics at the bottom of her board here, clearing up the red that was in that column 1. Now has really opened up this board and really has maintained a very clean top line while maintaining good pill diversity as well is Sarah. Both players are a little spired up in their respective columns with some blue viruses, but I think if the RNG comes their way, it's going to not be an issue, I think.
Yeah, so 10 for Ibar, 11 for Sarah, very, very close to each other. Ibar takes this long drop time down column 7 and 8. His column 1, he's taken care of that, but it is a little bit, he's got that traffic light situation. I don't know if going for a fat log would be the play on those yellows. I think he's probably going to wait it out. That looks like the best choice. Yeah, he's going to go for that. And meanwhile, Sarah just needs some blues to get out of here, and she's prioritized those very, very well. She's going to be out at a 115.
Perfect prioritization. Minimizing that drop in that top line is really what Sarah's hoping for. I'm glad those pills came her way in that way. Meanwhile, Ibar out of 122 with the same sort of deal here is Ibar. I do see a horizontal opportunity if Ibar does take it. Now, he has broken it down, but it still has everything lined up in the way that he needs it to.
Sarah's got so much blue here on the top line, but look at this. There is no garbage anywhere on her board, and that was a really nice slide to that yellow inside. Now, I'm not exactly sure if taking these layers out in the bottom is the right call, because it means that she's going to probably have to take some drop time. It might even be better to set up some colors like, the red and the yellow, where she can use them on blue combos. Looks like she's doing that a little bit.
There we go, most definitely. And I noticed she was trying to tuck that red and yellow into there, and it was a little difficult. Yeah, look at this coming on up. And, Ibar with a huge setup getting ready. Just needs one red to fire it off. And there you go.
Wow. That's fantastic. That is worth the wait. But the bottom of that board, a little bit of garbage that he has to deal with. The blues are probably going to take it out. But yeah, that issue with the red there in row 1, that's tricky. He's going to take that yellow out horizontally, maybe. Yeah, okay, so he's going to drop this, and now he's free and clear. Look at that combo from Sarah.
Yeah, I was going to say that's a great cascade. She had the red stacked and then the yellows, and she was looking layers to figure out how to clear everything down. That was really well executed here. If she takes those blues on the left, I'm curious if she takes in a sweet tea. That would be the most efficient way. Let's see if she manages that here. She has the blue stuff over there.
Yeah, she might be doing that. Ibar out at about a 240 something, 250 something. I was busy being called attention to by Sarah's board. These nice horizontal after a combo for Ibar. Would love to see him get these reds horizontally. Looks like he is going to go for that. Probably at the top there. Very nice. And that sets up for a very efficient... Oh, he drops that yellow down. Was thinking that he was kind of building up for a low drop clear setup and just keep that there, but he doesn't. 20 to 27. I think a little bit of a misdrop there for Ibar in column 5.
Yeah, I'd be willing to say, especially since his top line is blue. Was yellow and red. That yellow red probably not where he wants to. Although if he does drop the yellow down with that 7th column, he won't be able to drop it down that far with that. Yeah, he's going to drop it down. That's going to minimize drop time. So creating a ledge like that will save a second or two with that. But meanwhile, Sarah has really stormed back with what she's putting on right here, just clearing everything down here, and Ibar drilling it down here. So his only plays because everything's just kind of buried on his board.
Yeah, Sarah's play, she's gonna have to take a bunch of drop time. I think the whole path relies on placing the blues, I think, in the most efficient way. Because as we know, if you've watched this before, you've heard us say a lot that blue is the least common color. And so Sarah's just gonna be waiting patiently for it, maybe building up to take these reds out horizontally, and she'll have time to do that. Yeah, take a look. She's already got it going.
Very nicely done here. She has the red set up for a horizontal. She does take that. Yeah, this red's going to, yep, exactly there. So she is absolutely free and clear here. Meanwhile, Ibar's blue's a little, oh, I see what he's going to do there. Okay, he is going to clear up. He just needs a bunch of reds now.
Yeah, and Sarah gets those 3 blues right in a row, and she's out at a 454. What happened on Ibar's board? Misprioritization?
No, he was going to try and tuck it in, and I guess his controller didn't lock it in place here, and he was a little miffed by a little bit of a slight controller malfunction. Perhaps he didn't tap it, or a little bit of a forgetful moment there, but it luckily wasn't too dire of a situation. But I do like his setup with this blue in the center. If he gets a couple of blues and yellows, yeah, he just needs 1 blue to fire it off. Look at this combo from Ibar.
Wow, that's amazing.
Boom, boom, boom.
Looking very good there. Of course, now he's not getting the blue that he needs to keep his plans advancing. This is a really nice tuck there that he has in columns 1 and 2. Sarah's 5 viruses ahead, however, and looks like she's got some smart moves on the way. Yes. Oh, look at this blue yellow for Sarah. Nice. And a very wise move so that there isn't bad garbage. That red blue dropped directly down. So this is looking great for Sarah. She's just got to get those pills going. Obviously, a lot of red yellow right now.
Yeah, that was nice on her board. Ibar said, look at this monster combo that I'm setting up here. And Sarah's like, you know what?
Ooh,
watch me.
He's in the lead now.
Too. So both these players really putting on some really smart, really great vision. Look at this drop from Sarah. Oh, wow. And she has that blue set up to horizontal clear as well. These players are playing really brilliantly.
Yeah, this is a really fun match in just a completely different way than the other ones were. I mean, they're playing very intelligently, and there's some like very nice chess moves going on here. Side by side chess moves, of course. Sarah's down to 3 viruses, and Ibar's down to 4. He just needs a bunch of blues, and Sarah needs that red. She just needs 1 more red. Oh, and she is not going to get it. 643 to 640 for Ibar. Wow, that was so close.
Yeah, the doctor gave her just a bunch of the wrong pill colors for her to clear that board here, and she's in the lead just at the very end here. But Ibar sprinted towards that finish line just in the nick of time. That's wow.
Wow, very. Yeah, some of these moves are just gorgeous. I don't know, they just look very well thought out, very measured, but just very satisfying as well.
Oh man, did I ever tell you folks that I love this game. This game, just to be a spectator. Maybe not so much of playing sometimes, but getting to see wonderful talent playing and putting on these really cool moves. It's like what a treat. And we get front row seats. I mean, that's awesome. But speaking of front row seats, hey, folks, it's 3, 2, 1 pills into game 2.
Yeah, now I wonder, most of the games tonight have been deciders, most of the matches rather, and we'll see if we get that. I mean, we're getting a lot of bonus, Dr. Mario. I am not complaining, for one. A tiny bit of garbage there on Ibar's board. Would love to see a red-yellow for him to clear up columns 1 and 2. He gets it. Very nicely done. And so he's going to be whittling this down, trying to avoid drop time. I think he's going to have to take it there in columns 5 and 6. Ooh, but that yellow blue that he's dropped there seems to be a misdrop. That's going to be a while to clean up. I think that's going to take some advanced planning.
Yeah, at this point, I think the smartest play would be to probably clear that blue out horizontally. This is where misdrops start to breed misdrops. At this point, I think the remedy is to just, try and keep that calm, cool collectiveness, and we'll see if Ibar is able to recover from that. But as we say that, there we go. Nice. He's dropped it down. He's destroyed that garbage that he had in that 5th and 6th column. That was looking pretty dicey.
Yeah, and on Sarah's board, she's working really hard. You can see her being a little more deliberate with her plays because she's trying to figure out what's the best place to put each of these yellows that's coming. Except never mind, now the yellows aren't coming. She's just got all this red blue. So she's got to prioritize. Very nicely done here to drop this down. She is going to be taking these blue reds in the bottom right-hand corner horizontally if she can. She gets the blues horizontally, then she's set up for the red vertically, but she is out at a 138. Ibar has 3 viruses left. Looks like he's going to go for a horizontal on this red, drops down to another horizontal, and he's free and clear to close out this level at a 147.
Yeah, he's not too happy with that, but I must say he recovered very well from a series of missed drops. Oh, and I think a little bit of a missed tuck on Sarah's side as I say that. But I think it is early enough where she is going to use it as strategic garbage at this point, and we'll see how it develops on her board. Meanwhile, Ibar with a horizontal clearing it down, and has since closed the gap and is now taking the lead back over on Sarah.
Mm-hmm. And it makes sense. Sarah, this board has been pretty spired for her. And so everything's basically drill clear or just a, one hanging off of the side, dropping down for some drop time. It's a very straightforward board, but it's like a slow one, I wonder if she's going to be setting up for horizontals towards the bottom of this board. You see her shaking her head a little bit. I wonder what she sees in those reds there in row 3, right in the center.
Yeah, I think that was the misdrop she had earlier, and I think at this point she's probably going to go ahead and clear that yellow out. I thought she was going to go ahead and clear that out to try and drop that down. I think now she may elect to clear it as the last thing here. Although if that double yellow, yeah, that's exactly what she's hoping for, to clear that down. I like what she did there, dropping it down, turning it into further gold.
Mm-hmm. And Ibar working on his last 4 viruses here. Looks like he is trying to set up maybe for a horizontal red. He still has that possibility open. This double red, perfect for that.
Oh, nice.
So yeah, now he can just drop that down. Needs 2 more reds and he'll be out, of course. All right, now he's starting to get it going. There we go. He's out at a 322. Sarah with 3 viruses left. Very open paths to cleaning them out.
Yeah, just needs a couple more reds to get under. She's out at a 333 going into this level 8. And when we take a look at Ibar's board, I'm not really... Oh, he's got a lot of red in his top line. He's going to have to be very strategic with where he places things here. Oh,
wow,
a nice lightning bolt. That's hard to do. And he's playing on high. Yeah, he was playing on high. Oof.
Yeah, that was very impressive.
That's a very daring move.
Yeah, I do not think I would try that.
No.
And his board is taming itself a little bit. He needs to just keep getting red and putting it in just the right place. Oh, we are losing Ibar a tiny bit. So we'll look on over to Sarah, who's got 21 viruses. She needs a bunch of yellows at the top of this board to get things going, preferably of the yellow-blue variety.
Yeah, that'd be great if she can get a yellow-blue going on to continue chewing through her level here. There comes the first yellow-blue, and let's see if it continues on. And then more yellows to follow, which is great. Yeah, and more yellow-blue is good. This is exactly what she needs in order to advance this board. Perfect.
Yeah, now that bottom left-hand side, it's locked up. It doesn't look fantastic, so I'm not sure at the moment what her plan's going to be, because it's going to be hard for her to take that blue in row 2 out horizontally, but we'll see what she does. She's got plenty of space to work around it in the other regions of the board.
Okay, good. She drops this down. She is signaling to probably clear that blue out. Ooh, I don't think she is where she wanted to play it there, but it's at a moment where it's like, place it down and figure out what to do with it later. I think that's what Sarah was trying to do here, but I think what we see here, yeah, she's going to take that. Oh, I see. She's going to clear that bottom red horizontally there, and I think, yeah, now she has it where she just needs reds to clear the yellow in that first bit of the board here.
Yeah, so she's going to stack that on top. It's going to make a lot of sense.
There we go. We got Ibar. He's back.
Yeah. Sarah out at a 533. Ibar 9 viruses ahead at the moment. A little tiny bit of mess here on that board. It's mostly just columns 3 and 4 there. Drops it down. That red is going to be in a tricky spot in the center of that board. Would love to see him get a double red and not have to worry about it anymore. Just tuck it to the inside. But it means that everything else is basically useless. Oh, and you see him tucking that double blue. He does not like where that wind swung.
No, he had no place for that blue. Everything's just red, 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 and he's like, "What is going on?" And that's been the Doc's MO this whole night, and this whole game has been just giving the incorrect pill sequencing for our players here. But these players are gonna be very creative dropping it down. And Ibar just needs reds. Where are the reds? Again, Doc, reds.
Sarah with a really nice horizontal drop into a vertical. She had great prioritization the whole way through. You could see her thinking about that. She's down to 5 back from Ibar. She's got some good horizontal opportunities at the bottom of the board. I was wondering if she was going to take that double red and tuck it down into row 3. She didn't, but she's got a lot of place to put it. She's
Nice,
3
there
back
we
from
go.
Ibar now.
Yeah, Ibar has really finally opened up board up here after getting a whole glut of reds to advance that board. I do like what Sarah has going on with that. She is going to drop the yellows down into it, looking down and creating. Okay, I like that play there. I think she just needs a lot of yellows now to advance the board. And meanwhile, we look at Ibar's board. He does not need yellows.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he needs red, and he needs it yesterday. And got to make sure that that blue continues to show up through that. Ooh, double red's going to be perfect for him, and he gets a couple in a row. He is out at a 7-16, and with that, he has taken the second game and the match.
That was a well-timed sequence of events for Ibar. I mean, he was looking at that, and you know, when the player's behind in that situation, it can cause some dire stress there. But 7-16 and 7-30. This has been what we've seen from like players. Both these players, all these players are really within seconds of each other. We're seeing some 7s that went the distance. We saw some 6s that went the distance. Some low. I mean, these players were within seconds of each other this whole evening. That's really awesome to see. GG's to everybody.
And everyone, that is our last match of the night. Thank you for being with us through 5 amazing matches. We've seen some pretty exhilarating stuff. Tomorrow at 5 Eastern, 2 Pacific, you're going to be seeing the last 3 matches of round 1. So that's Adelito versus Arco, Floyd 1977 versus Ook the Librarian, and Influx versus Riggs. And then, of course, we'll move along to our round 2 before working on our semis and finals on Friday. Swang, before I have a special announcement, anything you want to say to the crowd?
Oh man, I gotta keep my composure from all the wonderful matches from everybody with the wonderful community going on. But I'd love to see you all. For those that are going to Tour Gaming Expo, again, you can see it on the screen there. It is in Columbus, Ohio, on the 11th through 12th of November. And I'm going to be there. Savage is going to be there. A lot of personalities are going to be there. It's going to be a blast. I think it's going to be the best year of all the years to go to the Dr. Mario versus scene, and you don't want to miss it out. I mean, if this is a year and you're thinking, I want to do this. Yeah, do it. I mean, this is it. This is the best one so far. I will say it right there.
I agree with you. I think we're all very excited for this, and we think that this is going to be a pretty special one. It's not like we have any secret surprises that we're trying to tease up, in our sleeves. It's just that we think this community is on the verge of really something special, and we think that the matches are going to be spectacular. And speaking of this amazing community, I have an extra special announcement to make. We have invited onto the Dr. Mario executive staff some volunteers who have been working so hard for several years, and we are so excited to bring them on. Of course, our amazing restreamer, the Dave, Ook the Librarian, and Larva12 are going to be joining Bidwell, JB, DM Hero, Vince, myself on the exec team, and taking care of all kinds of things surrounding our online experience and our live experience. So these 3 are tireless volunteers. I'm so excited to work with them. And Bidwell's really stoked to bring the live tournaments to the next level, and Larva's going to help him do that. And this is going to be fantastic, everyone. So please give them a round of applause. And thank you so much to all the commentators. Thank you, of course, to Ook, the Dave, Larva, Swang, Flindo, everyone you saw tonight. And of course, thank you so much for being here. We can't wait to see you tomorrow. And until then, take your vitamins.